So, Shilpa, we may start the conversation by perhaps if you'd like to tell us a little about yourself, maybe a bit of your background, if you'd like to
Okay.
share.
Yeah, as everyone knows, I'm Shilpa Raj, and currently I'm working with Saarthi Airways
Mm-hmm.
as a general manager.
Mm-hmm.
I am responsible for sales and marketing and HR department. I'm a commerce graduate holding a diploma in tourism and travel.
Okay.
Our company is in business of private jet, and we fly the HNIs of the country. We are
Okay.
both operator and an aggregator.
Okay.
So that is on the professional front. On the personal, I am married and I have two children. I have a 70-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. And I'm guessing that both your children are into the aviation toys and what have you.
Yes, they are, but then the little one has more interest. The daughter has more interest to become a fighter pilot
Oh,
because
wow.
my
Excellent.
father-in-law apparently was in Indian Air Force,
Okay.
and she find him as his role model, and he fought 2 battles for the country. So she wants to be
Wow.
in the Air Force and fly the aircrafts, and let's see what destiny holds for
Oh,
her.
wonderful. So aviation is in your bloodline. So
It is.
thumbs up. So perhaps you could, Shilpa, would you like to share a little bit about your journey? Like, how did you get where you are today?
Okay. Now it's been 2 decades of working in an aviation industry. I worked in an airline to the private jet charter. So throughout, it was in aviation. I started my career with the Jet Airways,
Mm-hmm.
which is the scheduled airline of which was the scheduled airline of the country.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes.
I started at the airport
Okay.
and
Okay.
worked there for 2 years.
Okay.
Then I moved to Sahara Airlines. I worked for 11 years. I
Mm-hmm.
managed, supported, and excelled in various departments of sales, client relationship, marketing, alliances, and product development.
Okay.
So that was my longest journey with any company, where
Okay.
I grew from a lower level to middle level and then ended up as heading the product development.
Fantastic.
In between, I had a short stint with American Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
This was the time when American Airlines came to India back in 2005, and they
Mm-hmm.
started its code share program. And Sahara and American Airlines together started that code share program. American Airlines were coming for the
Okay.
first time, and
Okay.
I was the project coordinator. And then
Wow.
when Sahara got sold, so I
Mhm.
got an offer and I worked with American Airlines.
Excellent.
and
Excellent.
and then after that I moved to the private jet charter stream,
This
and
is
since
great.
then been in this industry.
Mm.
And if you have to ask me what was the toughest part of my journey, that would be balancing my home and work. uh, and sometimes you are a guilty mother but a good worker, and some days you are an achiever with your children doing helping them
Yeah.
out in a
Yeah.
project and doing so well, and then your work is ignored. But what I've learned through all these years, it's difficult to balance both home and work, but there's nothing to feel guilty about. we
Absolutely.
women we women have lot of courage to balance it and to do it, and we can really push the envelope.
Absolutely. And Shilpa, what you just shared, it's kind of tagged to, well, not exactly tagged, but yeah, I was going to ask you, what does your typical day look like? And, I got a whiff of it by you earlier, as you shared that, managing your time between job and home. And yeah, I personally, even in my work right now I'm going to study mode, and I just did a little short workshop on time management. And the
Yes.
workshop started with stress and how we do bring stress in our space by feeling guilty that I've not done that and I have to do that. So yeah, it's a hard one, but yeah, going back to you, what does your typical day look like? Having
There, there's a nothing as a typical day in aviation, as
There
it
you
has
go.
its own challenges. But
Absolutely.
if it's a normal day, and I like to I like to schedule my day in advance,
Yes.
especially when it comes to fixing up my meetings. So I
Mm-hmm.
like to do that. What is next? And then morning I started. I have this habit of writing my task, and I prioritize my tasks depending on their urgency and importance. And I thoroughly believe in delegation. So
Oh
things
yeah.
which are very, very important, I do it. And if not, I delegate to the team. And then checking my mails, then we hold team meetings to discuss the day operations, reviewing the status of various projects. This is what we do. And I am a general manager. So, the word says you are manager for general things. So there are too many, I change various hats in a day. Some day I'm busy meeting my clients. The other day I'm drafting a contract for my pilots, and some other day I'm busy making presentation for the higher ups and tutoring the training. So I like to keep in touch with our benefactors and keep them updated about the progress of the projects and make sure they
Mm-hmm.
are happy with the performance and statistics. So that is also very important, that you balance with your colleagues and your high ups, and that's very, very important in your workspace.
Yeah. And in between, in those tasks, you have to slide in a call to Beta and Betty and, let's see how they're doing as well, keeping an eye on what's on the home front as well.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
those things happen. There are video calls which happens where I need to explain him, especially the daughter. The son is big enough to handle his projects and all his educational needs, but the daughter, I need to do video calls in between and tell her how this sum needs to be done. And most of the time scolding her, finish this has a timeline, this has a deadline. So those things keep on
Yeah.
happening in between, but I have a habit of probably switching off when I'm at work, and when I go back, the work never gets switched off. But sometimes, when you need to give your 100% where you are at
Yep.
that point in time. So I don't carry guilt. I just don't carry guilt at all. Even if it has been a very tough day at home, I
Mhm.
will be ready with my sari and with my lipstick for that challenge in the life, and everything is behind me.
Excellent,
So
excellent. So, Shilpa, so you are now from, starting at, uh, less experience, and then over these years you have gained so much experience, and now you stand in the business aviation world in a leadership role, right?
right.
So, you are essentially a role model for most women in our region, in the South Asia region, in India, especially specifically, um, a role model for women who aspire to grow. So, what would you say to the younger generation to encourage them to continue to pursue their dreams? And yeah, maybe I'll ask the second question after.
The aviation sector, however, continues to have one of the poorest gender balance, especially if you see at the higher levels where we have just 3% of the women in the leadership roles who are there in the boardrooms.
Mm-hmm.
That's very unfortunate, but I'm sure we are through these WIA projects and many other various initiatives, we are reaching where we need to. What I would like to say to the younger generation and to especially to the women, I would like to tell them to challenge yourself. That's very important for any aspiring leader, is to challenge themselves, put themselves forward for the challenging roles which
Yes,
they may not feel completely prepared for.
yes,
They have to come out of their comfort zone. That's very important. Any profile you are holding, and if there is nothing to teach you anymore, move to another one, because you are ready for the next role. You are ready, you're prepared, and need to take your PNL opportunities earlier on your career.
Hmm.
You have to show to the management that you are ready, you are responsible, you have an aspiration, you want to, you are not here just for spending some time and just doing. You are here to grow, and you are here to take all the challenges what what it has it for
Right.
them. So
So,
what I feel, it is going to increase their confidence if they take the PNL opportunities early in their life. They
yes.
need to build their internal and external network of advisors. That is very important. That you should have your own people in the company where you are working in. You need to interact with most of the people, as well as you have to have your circle externally also. So selling yourself internally and externally is very, very important.
Absolutely.
Show the management that you are aspirational, you are ready for challenges. That is very, very important. That's very most important. You need to be proactive. You have to be proactive manager. You have to speak about your interest, your long-term aspirations. That yes, this is where I see myself, and I am ready to do that. The company will take you seriously, because what usually happens for a women, and that too in the middle management, you are
Right.
having children, and then that is the time when the work needs you the most, and the house needs you the most. And if we can support women during those times, I think there is no end to them to show results.
Yeah. So we can say to the younger generation to stay focused, to take the challenge, and continue to aspire their leadership, that they can, you know, they can do this, right? And so tell me something.
Right.
What challenges, as a woman in a leadership role, what challenges do you face with this in the current situation? Like in the present COVID environment, what challenges do you see right now in your space?
Um, Keeping in mind the COVID situation, COVID has affected the industry really strongly.
Excuse me,
Uh,
excuse me to interrupt.
Sorry.
Sorry, Shilpa, what I meant was that, you know, we mentioned here for the younger generations to encourage them to continue to pursue their dreams, right? So,
Right.
um, what challenges do you feel that they face in the current situation if they want to pursue their dreams?
Some of the main obstacles aspiring female leaders face
Mm-hmm.
include the bias as well as the assumptions.
Okay.
Assumption about women interest and capabilities. We women are stereotyped that women are physically not strong as men and less competent in the cockpit, MROs, FBOs, engineering, ATC, ground ops, flight operations, especially the technical careers.
Hmm.
This is a major impact on women career progression. We are underrepresented in all the fields of aviation except the
Yes.
flight attendants.
Yes.
So female representation is lower in the boardroom. There are only 3% of the CEOs, and the CEOs and COOs are women in the world's top 100 airlines. So that needs to change. We need to come out much stronger,
Mhm.
and and the gender bias needs to end.
Correct. So
And
tell me something.
if you want
Sorry.
to ask me how the COVID has impacted, the financial impact of COVID has been huge to the aviation industry.
Hmm.
If you see the passenger demand in April 2020 plunged to 94.3% as compared to the April 2019, as we all saw the global lockdown.
Hmm.
So the airline operators will require a very well orchestrated recovery plan, supported by external agencies to safely regain their operational tempo and replenish their cash reserves. So,
Sure.
our industry is in for a challenge. There is
Mm.
no doubt about it. But with numerous guidelines and roadmaps to recovery, there's
Mm.
a clear need for us to collaborate with each other and come out as a winner. So I
Yeah.
don't feel that COVID-19, it has also taught us one another thing. COVID-19 has shown that we can respond to challenges at a
Yeah.
scale we've never seen before
Mm.
and consider how to make changes to move more resilient state while we have the opportunity.
Absolutely. Yes.
So one
So,
year and the industry will have its wings.
well, that's it's good. We just have to remain positive no matter what, right? I mean, no one can predict, no one can forecast, but we can remain positive. So, you know, Shilpa, you mentioned earlier about the kind of mindsets, or rather, in India, where aviation
Correct.
is generally a male-dominated industry. So, how do you feel about the conservative mindsets that aviation is still really mostly for men? How do in with in direct respect to India, like how do you see aviation in India, and is it really perceived as a man only space, or are women as welcomed in the industry?
There's a big push to encourage more women in aviation in
Mhm.
India.
Okay.
There are a lot of people that believe that the industry needs more women.
Hmm.
With the recent example, if you see the Air India on the 11th of January, we flew 17 hours non-stop commercial flight from San Francisco to Bangalore with all women crew.
Okay.
So India is here to show the world that we are very positive, and we are trying at various levels how to bring more women into this industry. And I don't feel in this country we the bias is still there. So the other things what the country is doing is putting women in the training field. So if being role models, they being role models, encouraging others to join the technical streams. The pilots are teaching, they are more into now into the training, and then they are teaching, they are explaining every women about their own journey, about their challenges of a lady and how to balance it. So there's a push on that side. And then the government is also starting early. The
Mm.
entire educational system is changing in the country, wherein they are getting a lot of skill courses, and they're starting those skill courses in school. So the travel and tourism will also be a subject which will be taught to a child much earlier in life, where they can choose this as a stream and can move ahead as their as their passion.
Excellent,
So
excellent.
yeah.
So that's great. I mean, that's really really good to know. And that the biases against the women gender is it's improving, or it's almost not there. So we spoke about the COVID situation and how it has impacted it in a negative way. So the question here is, do you feel that it has impacted the drive and initiatives like Women in Aviation, or like these associations, to encourage more women during this time?
As I mentioned earlier,
Mhm.
the COVID has shown that we can respond to challenges at a scale we've never ever seen before. So
Excellent.
a lot of things happened during this lockdown time. There was knowledge being dispersed at various online platforms, forums, both domestically and internationally. People are getting much, the awareness has been grown. People have been reading a lot, hearing a lot, and now it's becoming a well informed choice for
Mm.
children, for everybody to take up this
Right.
profession. Unfortunately, our industry needs a year to revive back in the, but then this will not deter people to not to choose this as a profession. And many new initiatives, as the WiA came during the COVID times,
Yes.
and it's an example in itself.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is it is so well received. It's inspiring
Yes.
the other women to take up aviation as career choice.
Absolutely. And, as women, as more and more women aspire to be in aviation and even in business aviation, I think what comes to me is, you see the greatest support for women on the home front. So more partners, spouses, family members are supportive
Supporting.
the 24/7 type of schedule that their moms or daughters and sisters have to hone to pursue this industry. So that is, to me, the clear positive progress.
Positive.
Yes. So in a few words, Shilpa, on the Women in Aviation Project Initiative, how would you like to be part of it? Considering the Women in Aviation Association project was established during this time, how do you feel you can help us to expand and collaborate with the
WIA is a great initiative encouraging and inspiring women to be part of the aviation industry. The concept of equity, diversity, and inclusion are increasingly gaining traction and momentum with such wits. So, with your initiative, I feel influencers are not born; they are built.
They are built, yeah.
So this is what your an empowered women empower women.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
I mean,
with this initiative, I feel even being part of your maybe I don't know how many people I can inspire through narrating my journey to to them. I can I don't know. But this is the journey I would like to tell the women, these aspiring leaders, to the girls who wants to join. It's a wonderful it's a wonderful place to be, and there is no deterrent, there is nothing. The world is changing, the people are changing, the mindset is changing, and everything can be balanced, and in
yeah.
every profession. So this is not should not be left behind that aviation is only for men.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we clearly make a difference. Women clearly make a difference. And so we're arriving to the end of our conversation. Shilpa, would you like to, share a quote that has inspired you through your life?
The quote which I would like to say is,
Something that,
if you can't figure out, if you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion. For your passion will
oh,
lead
that,
you directly into your purpose.
oh, wonderful. Yeah, well said. Great quote, Shilpa.
And another one I would like to end with, and that is a recent one when Kamala Harris ended her speech by saying, "My last point is, don't ever let anybody take your power."
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So she is another example of women empowerment, and we have many role models around us who inspire us every day to do what we are doing today.
Shilpa, it has been an extreme pleasure to have had this opportunity to speak to you, and completely grateful for your support for Women in Aviation Asia. Thank you to Katie for helping us connect and organize this session for us. And I wish you all the best in your journey moving forward. And I hope that we meet in India soon.
Soon. Thank you so much, and thanks
Thank
for
you
the
so
lovely
much.
opportunity. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.